About 1 in 2. That's the risk of developing cancer at some point in your life. It's one of the most common diseases in the world, affecting people, pets, and many animals in the wild, but not all of them. Some animals, despite having massive bodies, living long lives, and carrying billions of cells, almost never get cancer. Whales, elephants, naked mole rats, turtles, species that, by all logic, should be at higher risk than we are, and yet they're not. For decades, this didn't make sense, because more cells means more chances for something to go wrong, right? But something about their biology defies the math. Scientists call this strange pattern Peto's paradox. And the deeper we look, the clearer it becomes. Nature may have figured out how to prevent cancer, long before we even knew what it was. Think of it like this. The more cells a creature has, the more chances one of them might go rogue. A typo in the DNA, a slip in the system. That's all it takes to begin the chain. That becomes a tumor. So big animals, with billions and billions of cells, they should be swimming in cancer, but they're not. In fact, they get it less than smaller animals. That's the paradox. Discovered decades ago by scientist Richard Peto, this contradiction challenged everything we thought we understood. Why aren't elephants full of tumors? How can a whale live 200 years with barely any cancer? The numbers don't add up. But nature doesn't always play by our rules. And that's when researchers started asking a better question. Not why aren't they sick, but what are they doing right? Elephants don't fight cancer the way we do. They stop it before it begins. Deep in their DNA, scientists found something extraordinary, a gene called TP53, often called the guardian of the genome. You have it too. It watches for cells that are damaged and tells them to either fix themselves or self-destruct. But here's the difference. Humans have 1 copy of that gene. Elephants have 20. It's like they've built a security system with backup after backup. If a cell starts to go wrong, it doesn't get a warning. It gets shut down, quietly, efficiently, before it can turn into something worse. That's one reason elephants can grow so large, live so long, and still stay healthy. It's not magic, it's biology, perfected by evolution. And it might be one of the keys to beating cancer. Not just in them, but maybe in us. Not all discoveries start in high-tech labs. Some begin in places you wouldn't expect, like a zoo. For decades, zookeepers and veterinarians kept careful records when animals got sick, when they died, and what was found inside. Thousands of necropsies, animal autopsies, stored away in quiet files. When researchers started going through them, a pattern began to emerge. Some animals, big cats, primates, had cancer rates similar to ours, but others, almost none. Species like elephants, whales, certain turtles, naked mole rats, over and over their names showed up with the same note: no cancer detected. What began as routine paperwork became one of the most revealing datasets in cancer research, a quiet clue hiding in plain sight. Elephants weren't the only surprise. Nature, it turns out, is full of survivors. Naked mole rats live underground in dark, crowded tunnels, and somehow they live for decades, with almost no cancer. Their cells are wired differently. The moment something looks off, growth just stops before trouble begins. Then there are turtles. Some live over 100 years, and they don't just age slowly, they stay remarkably healthy while doing it. And whales? They're the largest animals on Earth. Yet somehow their bodies stay in balance, stable, resilient, long-lived. These animals don't share a habitat, they don't share size or diet or environment, but they all seem to share something else, a way of stopping cancer before it takes hold. Each one found its own solution, and that's what makes this story even more incredible. Cancer is a complex problem, so nature didn't settle for one fix. It built a toolbox. Elephants ramped up security with gene copies that scan for trouble and shut it down fast. Mole rats chose caution. They stopped cell growth at the first sign of risk. No debate, no delay. Whales seemed to slow things down, dividing their cells less often, keeping their DNA more stable over time. And some creatures, their cells self-destruct quietly, like a system that chooses peace over mutation. Different species, different tools, but the same goal. Don't let cancer grow. Ever. It's not one cure, it's many. Nature gives, but it also takes. The defenses animals evolved against cancer don't come free. Take elephants. Their extra TP53 genes help wipe out damaged cells fast. But that also means they may destroy cells that could have been repaired. It's not a careful system, it's a brutal one. Other animals lose things too, like flexibility, or the ability to regenerate quickly, or grow as fast as others. But for them, the trade is worth it. Live longer, stay healthier. Pass on the genes. It's not about perfection, it's about survival. Somewhere in Utah, there's a lab filled with life. Not animals, but cells, grown in dishes, watched under microscopes, coming from elephants, whales, bats, turtles, and hundreds of other species. It's a kind of biological library, each cell carrying clues, each test revealing how life has learned to protect itself. Scientists are tracking how these cells respond to damage, how quickly they shut down, how stable they really are. It's slow work, but one day it might unlock the defenses nature already built. Not everything in the lab made sense. Some cells from cancer-resistant animals didn't react the way scientists thought they would. No shutdown, no warning signs, just silence. At first, it was confusing, maybe even disappointing. But that's what science does. It reveals what we didn't expect and forces us to look deeper. Maybe these defenses aren't just in the genes. Maybe it's in the way cells talk to each other, or how the body handles risk as a whole. The mystery got bigger, and that's when it got more exciting. We've spent decades trying to cure cancer, searching, building, testing. But maybe the answers have been growing all around us, in the elephant, in the mole rat, in the quiet, slow-moving turtle. Creatures that never asked for a cure, because evolution built one in. What if the future of cancer research isn't about creating something new, but about learning what nature already knows? Maybe it's not about beating the odds. Maybe it's about rewriting them, one gene, one cell, one story at a time. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe for more science that makes you think. New videos, real discoveries, and nature like you've never seen it before.